Okay, so I know this is a bit weird for my YouTube channel because I've been uploading some Fortnite videos lately, but don't worry, my montage is gonna come soon. But for today, we're gonna do something different. I'm gonna be teaching a code in programming, and for this, I'm using online GDB, which is a debugger for C++, C, Python, Java, or any codes you want. It's free. You just go online and click online GDB. It will come there. So before you code for Python, go here and choose the option of Python. Um, you see all of these are available, but for us we are using Python. So the code that we're gonna do is basically a code that shows the form of the input for the Wi-Fi password. For example, you go to Starbucks, you'll see a form user and password, right? And before that, you need to put in your login credentials. But then over here, we are only gonna put a Wi-Fi password. So we're gonna need three variables, or actually two for the Wi-Fi password. Another one, we are gonna put it as a free reward or a free drink. But to be noted, this is only the base of the code that can be actually used in a shop for password. This is not the actual. So the result is over here on your screen. So I'm just gonna input the password. So the variable of Wi-Fi has been mentioned as 12345. So if I enter 12345 in here, it's gonna show Wi-Fi enabled, and it will show input promo code for free drink. Now you input this promo code. The promo code is 54321. When you input this promo code in, claim your free drink at the bar, and then the name of the coffee shop, which we have kept Coffee Corner. So yeah, so we are now gonna go ahead to the coding of this. So we'll just leave the site, and now, as I told you, change it to Python. You can just erase all of this first. So the first line of code, as we want the first line to show our coffee shop's name, so we are gonna put in print, and then to make it look a bit cooler, we're gonna put 4 equal signs, or you can put more if you want, or you can put another like asterisk, or you can put dollar signs, or you can put percentage sign, your wish. Now once you're done with this line of code, so this basically just prints out the name of the coffee corner. Now we're gonna need three variables, so I'm gonna write those down as a hashtag, which means it won't count in the code. So user input Wi-Fi, and there's gonna be free, which is the name of the free drink variable. So these are the three variables for you to remember. Now after we put in the line print, we are gonna put in the variable user input, and now as it states in the name, the variable needs to get the input from the user. So when you have a code like this, you can either do this user input equals input, and then print the line you want to print when this code runs in front of the user, and what is the code gonna ask the user. So if you want the code to ask input Wi-Fi password, so you can type in input Wi-Fi password, and then you can put a colon here. So then when this code runs, it will ask the user for the input, but it won't show user input equals input. The only thing it will show is input Wi-Fi password. So it will look good, and it won't look like your program is messed up. Now you put in user input as an integer value, as a Wi-Fi password is only an integer value, so you put this in as an integer value. So to put this in as an integer value, for in Python, the short form for integer is int. So now you need to make the variable user input an integer. So to do that, int, and then inside there you put the name of the variable. Now what this does is, it won't take a variable which is not an integer from the user. This is basically a string, and thus when the user enters a letter, it won't take the letter in as the Wi-Fi password as only integer. It will run back with, I think, some error or something, most probably. I haven't tried that yet, but for now we need to put the Wi-Fi password in here. So whatever the Wi-Fi password is, so you put in a variable Wi-Fi equals 12345. Now that's what I want the Wi-Fi password to be, and this is the only thing that's correct. Now to get onto the part where the user input is gonna get a result based on whether it's correct or wrong. So if you're gonna put, if you have learned about Python, you must be knowing about the if-else statements. They are conditions. So if user input equals, okay, note this down, equals sign in maths is not the same as equal in Python. Equal in Python is when you give a variable a name, or you give something, like for example user input equals input, that's one equal. But when you want to say that user input is equal to a integer or particular value, you need to put equals 2 times. So if user input equals the variable Wi-Fi, you don't need to put any inverted commas or anything on the variables, just write it like that. Now you put a colon and it should indent it for itself. Now what line you want to print when the user inputs the correct Wi-Fi password. So for me, I'm gonna put print in Wi-Fi enabled. Now as you can see, the user will get a message Wi-Fi enabled once he has printed is correct. Now we press enter and then we write the else. So for the else, you basically just write else and then a colon, and that's it. Now print, so go ahead, print, and then you need to write what you want the user to see on their screen when they have written the wrong password. So Wi-Fi not enabled. You can put an exclamation mark too, and then now once this line of code is done, I recommend you always check each line of code. You always check. So once you're done with one part of the code, we'll run this, and as you can see below, it says coffee corner, it prints it correct, and now it asks for the Wi-Fi password. So I'm gonna input it wrong first. So as you can see, I inputted 2333353. So it says Wi-Fi not enabled, and then it finishes the program. But now you run it again with the correct Wi-Fi password. There you go, it says Wi-Fi enabled. So always check your code like this. Now going on to the part of the free drink. So for the free drink part, we're gonna have a variable free, which is mentioned here, line number 5, the variable free. So for the variable free, it's the same as the other variables, but this time you need to do the same as user input because it takes an input from the user. So free equals to input, and along with the input, the line that you want to print. So input promo code for free drink, we are gonna put that line in. Don't mind the capital and stuff right now, because we are just learning. This is basically a code. It's a base of a code that you can use in a Wi-Fi coffee shop, but it won't enable Wi-Fi for the user. That's a harder code. For now, just learn the basics. This is basically just how to use if-else statements and use variable inputs. This is what I'm trying to teach using this pseudocode. So now free equals int free, just like user input. So now what this does is it only takes integer as a value from the user. Now you it's your wish, you want to double space or you just keep it no space. I recommend double space, it looks tidier. So now for this condition, for this statement, you need the if else statements again. And let me tell you, so over here we have used two equal signs, right? Now for example, you want to say if user input not equals to Wi-Fi. So user input not equals to Wi-Fi, the sign for not equal is going to be exclamation mark and equal. So always remember that. Now going back here, so if free, remember variables not in inverted or brackets. If free equals 2 times, remember that, 5 4 3 2 1. So, and then you put a colon, print get your free drink at the bar. There you go. Now what this will print is the statement given inside the print. So basically it will print get your free drink at the bar after you input the correct password, correct promo code actually, which is 54321. Now if you over here you don't need the else statement, as there's only one thing you want them to print. If the promo code is correct, you just want it to print get your free drink. If it's wrong, print nothing, just leave it blank. It will end the code right there and you won't get your free drink. But to make it actually feel like the user knows what's going on, we'll just put an else statement. Now for the else statement, you can print out like try again, attempt failed. There you go. Now that's what it's gonna print if you not input 54321. Now to end it, just put print. This is basic. Hello world. This is from where you learn Python. Print the name of your coffee shop and then 4 equals sign. Now I'll be posting this code in the description as well. So if you want, you can go and explore it yourself, or I recommend you to try doing it yourself using different variables, using more variables. Like you can have Wi-Fi, you can have promo code, you can have some special vouchers, and you can have free stuff given, or you can even make a code of like you creating a form for someone. For now, just keep it simple over here, and then we are gonna run this program. So I'm just gonna zoom in the run screen. Now it's perfectly fine, as we already tested the first part. So 1 2 3 4 5, as you input that, it shows Wi-Fi enabled. Now input promo code for free drink. Now for this, I'll input it correct first. There you go, it says get your free drink at the bar. Now I'll input the Wi-Fi correct, but I'll not input the promo code correct. So 1 2 3 4 5, enter, and it says Wi-Fi enabled. Now for this, I'll put anything random. Try again, attempt failed. This is what it shows. So now when the user has to try again, it will just reset this. For that you can loop the program, but for now I'm just keeping it simple as we are not going deep into this. So if you enjoyed, please like and subscribe, and also turn on notice, and let's see if I can hit 100 subscribers, maybe 100 views on this video, who knows, because that's a lot for me. And don't forget my upcoming montage on Fortnite, so stay tuned for that also. And okay, so this is it for today's video. I hope you learned something. I'll be posting the pseudocode and the code down in the description.